welcome or welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Tara, and this is a little, this is a short video that I try to do on a weekly basis, where I am coloring a page in Maria Trolle's book, Shooting Star. I've been working on it for a couple weeks now, and it is just a quick color. I try to do about 15 minutes. I usually go over, but we're gonna go ahead and start this little timer that I tend to kind of ignore. And I think that today I want to work on her hair and possibly the globe. Maybe I'll add some more shadows. I just don't feel like there's enough shadows in those clouds. I have my Alani that I'm, trying to get some energy for the day. So I got that going. Not my favorite flavor. If you're an Alani fan, it's the Cosmic Stardust. It's okay. It's okay. So for her hair, let's look at the, I've thought about maybe trying to pick the colors ahead of time so you don't have to sit here and watch me do this, but I'm like, this is kind of part of the process, so I'm going to include this for whatever it's worth. I was debating what color to do her hair. I think I might do it as a pink, since I'm going to try to do this background probably in dark blues. I didn't want to do purple for her hair. I thought maybe it would blend in too much. And I didn't want to just do a blonde or a brown. So I wanted to do something, maybe a little funner. So for that, and I am working with these Marco Masters Collection pencils. Unfortunately, these pencils, if you're in the States, these pencils, I don't know where you can find these pencils at. I tried to look on Temu and AliExpress, and they're not shipping to the United States at this point. If you're elsewhere in the world, you can still get these pencils. Had I known that, I probably would not have started this page with these pencils. So when I start a new page in this series, I'm going to pick a more common, easy to find pencil. So, but I mean, the colors are pretty standard, so you can probably replace them. And as I've said in other videos, this is not a tutorial. I am in no position to try to teach anybody how to color. I'm still learning myself. We're all just, learning as we go. So I think that I'm going to base it with this English rose just because it's such a pale color that it will work. And then I can add, I can deepen it with darker pinks. So I'm just going to go ahead and you can barely even see it, honestly. It's just going to be a little base coat. Now, normally when I color hair, there's kind of like two different techniques that I like to do for hair. When hair is in grayscale, I tend to do the flick method. It makes sense in my head when the hair is in grayscale. When the hair is like this, I tend to do more of like a smush method. I'll edit this video a little bit. Let me find some books just to show you exactly what I'm talking about when I say that. All right, so when I talk about the smush method, I'm talking about like this, where you take the colors. Now this is from a Hannah Lynn book. I did this about 2 years ago. And you just kind of smush the colors together. That works for that. It works great with Prismacolors. Now for great. Am I not gonna be able to find this? Oh, for Pete's sake. Wow, I'm gonna have to cut so much of this out. All right. And then when I talk about the flick method, I'm talking about this. So where each strand, you literally take the pencil and you just flick it. And this is from Daria Kakersoy's Fantasy and Fairy Cuties coloring book number 8. Wow, that took me forever to find those books, so I'm going to have to edit the heck out of that. But with hair like this, I very much prefer the smush method. Again, it just makes better sense in my head. So I'm going to put down a layer of this light pink, and then we're going to go in with some different brighter shades of pink. So how has everybody been this week? Have you been up to anything interesting? You know, always feel free to leave comments. I try to, you know, since I don't do these as live chats, you know, they're not true chats, but, you know, you can always comment with what you've been up to. I will see that, and I always try to comment back. So me this week, we had family. Well, I had family in town. My aunt was in town from Florida. So we got together for my dad's 87th birthday. We all went out to lunch. It was really just me, my husband, my dad, my aunt, and one of my cousins who I'm pretty close to. Definitely not the whole family, because my family is huge. Like massive family. All right, so that is the base. So let's go in with, let's decide on a brighter color. Let's see here. I'm debating between that, doing maybe the pink. I think I'm gonna go in with the pink. And even though it's not probably as bright as I'm gonna go, it will add some. I think, was I already using the pink one? Is that in my, yep, it was. I was using that in the clouds. Maybe I don't want to use that in the hair then. I don't want it to match. So maybe this charm pink. Should have that one in here. Yep, I do. This one right here. So let's go ahead and pick. I'm going to do the charm pink. And then I'm going to do, this color that says peach, that is not even remotely peach. I don't think these are the same color at all. Okay, so let's grab those two. So anyway, yeah, my family is gigantic. Actually, I'm going to take which one of these is darker? The peach that's not a peach is darker. So I'm going to go in with this. My mom was one of 9 kids. And my dad has probably that many siblings. I'm not exactly 100% sure on that one. But I was always really, really close to my mom's family growing up. They were, you know, I grew up with my cousins. I consider myself very lucky to have grown up with cousins that I was very close in age to. I mean, one of my cousins was literally born 3 days after me. And, you know, I had siblings growing up, but they were much, much older than me. My sister's 14 years older than me, and my brother was 14 years older than me, and my sister is 10 years older than me. And so, you know, I was the youngest, but in many ways I was kind of an only child. By the time I had memories, they weren't in the house anymore. And so, and you know, my siblings always say I got a different version of our mom than they did, which is probably true. But I had a lot of cousins that I was very, very close with and that I grew up with, and we had a lot of fun. And, you know, it was kind of a running joke. I went to I grew up in a really small town, and so our school was really small. And, you know, there was always at least 2 of us in a grade. If there was one, there would be another one. We always came in pairs at least. So, which was, you know, it was fun. It was fun for me. But, you know, people, grow up and they start families of their own, and you just don't see people as much as you used to. I mean, that's just the way life works. But I love when I get to see them for something other than a funeral, which sometimes it seems like that's all that we see each other for. But, so I loved seeing my cousin this week. That was a lot of fun. And, my aunt is a hoot. She's one of my favorites. She's always been just kooky. She'll tell you exactly what she's thinking. She doesn't hide anything, which I always appreciated. So we had the little get together, which is why I had wanted to get some videos out earlier this week, and I just wasn't able to do it because, family, and I didn't want to put them on the back burner. I'm going to switch to this Charm Pink. I'm going in a little harder with this than I normally do. Usually I layer. I'm not really layering with this. I'm just kind of smushing. This is one of those things. I hope it turns out. I mean, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. We'll see when we get there, I guess. Where did I put that other pencil? Oh, I put it back. That's where I put it. I should probably take that out so I can use it. Oh, I got stuff falling over. I just kind of, I've said before in these videos, I'm not really like a planner. When it comes to my coloring pages, I just kind of make it up as I go along. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work. And that's just, it is what it is. I try not to get, I try not to be too hard on myself. Although I will admit it's a lot harder when you have a YouTube channel, honestly, or if you have a social media where you share stuff, because, you're putting that out there. And it's why I always say, I'm not teaching you how to color because I'm still learning. So I'm not presenting myself as somebody who's amazing at this, because I'm not. There's so many, colorists on YouTube that are insanely good at what they do. Like it blows my mind what they're able to do. And I try to learn from them and get better, but it's not a competition. It's not anything like that. I do this because it's something that I enjoy doing. It's relaxing. And the moment that it becomes not relaxing anymore, the moment that I start letting that pressure really get to me, is the moment that it's not fun, and I wouldn't want to do it at that point. So yeah. Okay, I think I might need another pink here. Something a little bit lighter than, not as light as the lightest, but not as, and I got stuff still falling over on me. Goodness gracious. Maybe this rose pink. I think this rose pink is this one right here. So like, it would make our colors this. I think that's a decent combo. So yeah, so that's mainly been what I've been doing this week. We also organized some rooms in our house a little bit. I swear, we've lived in this house for 15 years at this point, and I always feel like it's a project. Like we're just always doing something. Like, I guess that's home ownership though. Is that the darkest? Nope. I keep picking that one up thinking it's the darkest, and it's not. I'm looking at my timer, but I can't go off of that because it took me forever and a day to find those books, which I'm going to edit out because otherwise you're just going to be staring at this page and me talking in the background going, where in the world did I put that book? So I can't go off this timer because I don't actually know how long I've been doing this. So we'll wing it, guys. I don't know. Have I made a video? Yeah, I did. I made a video after my birthday where we went and did stuff. Which reminds me, I should be, I'm waiting for a couple more things for a haul video, which should be getting here, I think, next week. And once they do, I'm going to do a haul video. I'm going to do a couple haul videos because this stuff ain't all fitting in one video. So, if you like hauls, which it seems like a lot of people do, they're my videos that perform the best. And I know I personally love watching hauls on YouTube. I am going to have a couple really big ones coming up, with some really fun items that I'm really looking forward to sharing. I need to sharpen this pencil, so cover your ears. There it goes. And the freaking lead just broke. Boo. Point off for these pencils for that. Because it's not my sharpener. I sharpen everything in this sharpener. And I've had very few problems. Anyway, so have the haul video coming, and it's going to be a very big one. I'm going to do 3 different videos. I'm doing a video of supplies, and I'm going to do a video of coloring books, and there is a lot of coloring books, guys. And I'm going to do a video of journaling stuff. I know not everybody's into the journaling stuff, so I didn't really want to put that in the supply video. I'm going to put that in a video on its own. So people who are interested in that can watch it, and people who don't have to fast forward through it. But this is probably going to be my last big haul for a while. I'm not going on a no-buy just because those never work for me. Like, I'll say, like, oh, I'm not going to buy anything, and then I see something and I buy it, and then I have guilt over buying, and I'm just not going to do that. So, it's not that I'm not going to buy anything. It's very much a low buy. There's nothing that I'm particularly looking for. Now, if I need to, if I run out of something, then I'll buy it. And this is, up until Christmas, is kind of the plan. I'll get some stuff for Christmas, and I'll share at that point. And I'm sure I'll have like small haul videos between now and Christmas. I have some books on that I've had on pre-order for a while. And so those will, those are going to show up no matter what. Sorry, I keep getting distracted by what I'm doing. So I do have some books that are going to come because of pre-order. But no real supplies. Where did I put my brush? It's right here. That I'm aware of. But I have a lot of stuff. I'm anxious to get this haul done so I can get stuff put up. But that doesn't mean that, I'm not going to have any videos coming out. I'm still going to be doing this series. I have a couple buddy colors that I'm working on that I'm going to share. I'll probably share those in these videos since they're kind of, catch up videos or whatever. And then, I have been wanting to do for a really long time, and I think I'm finally going to do it. Like a coloring space video where I do a tour of my coloring and journal room, my craft room. I always like watching those videos, so. And also, as a little sneak peek of another video that I'm gonna come out with next week, I was at IKEA, of all places, and I saw these. So IKEA, they had colored pencils and some watercolor pencils. And so I'm going to do a Does It Color episode, whatever, where I'm going to see like how those supplies actually work. I just thought it would be kind of fun. So there's a little sneak peek. I think I might end up needing just one darker color just for the absolute shadows of her hair. Not loving it right now, but it is what it is. Maybe I can just darken up this darkest color a little bit. My dog just wandered in here. I don't know what she wants. Lucy, what are you doing? What are you doing? Can I help you? I think she misses our other dogs. We used to have, at one point we had 5 dogs. All were dogs that we had adopted over the years, and unfortunately we had a couple years where it seemed like one a year. We were losing one a year. Which is, you know, is anybody who's had a pet that they loved and lost, they, you know how difficult that is. And so Lucy, who's our terrier mix, she was the last dog we got, the last dog we adopted, and she is the last dog we have now. She used to be, you know, she was one of 5, and now she's one of 1. And I think sometimes she really misses her sisters, and other times I think she likes not having to, you know, she likes getting all the attention. But you know, we're not going to get another dog for a while. I'm the kind of person that my dogs never were good with traveling, and I can't kennel I can't leave my dog somewhere. I get really stressed about that. I unfortunately just don't trust people. And, you know, I know that there's a ton of people out there that give great care to dogs, that, you know, are great at what they do, that love dogs, that would never hurt a dog. I have anxiety, like diagnosed anxiety, and it's just a constant fear of mine. And so I just, you know, when we used to travel, my parents were able to watch our dogs. Like one of my parents would come over and they'd stay at our house and watch our dogs in our house. And, you know, my mom's gone now, and my dad has a dog, so he can't do that. And so we're kind of, we haven't traveled in years, which, you know, it sucks, but I love our dogs, and I wouldn't have traded that time with them for anything. But, you know, we're gonna do some traveling eventually. And then once we get kind of that out of our system, because we are at our core, we're homebodies. Once we get that out of our system, we will adopt again. We'll adopt more dogs. Kind of went out of the lines a little bit. That's fine. I'm just not satisfied with this. I don't know why. I'm just not. This is why I think I always prefer grayscale. The shadows are in there for you. It's just easier for me, it's just easier to parse out where everything goes. When you color, do you prefer line art like this, or do you prefer grayscale? I know that, like, I love books like this, but I always gravitate towards grayscale, unless it's something like, you know, like the cozy coloring that you can just use markers in. Then I'm fine with. Let's see. want a slightly darker. That literally looks like the same color. Let's see. I know I said I wasn't going to use purple, but I might just for these shadows. So that might work, that rouge. Let me find that really quick. This one right here. So once I kind of get this where I want it, I'm gonna take a blender and I'm gonna blend it all together. Will that magically make me not hate it? Probably not. So, yeah, I can't go off of what this timer's saying, which is kind of annoying. I don't want to make this video too long, but I also don't want to just cut it, you know, short. Sorry, I keep kind of, I wouldn't say spacing out, but I keep concentrating and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be talking. Usually I don't have any problem yammering. I don't know what's going on today. I need another sip of my energy drink. Unfortunately, it's not my favorite flavor. I tried to get the, I ordered those to be delivered from Target. And I wanted the special like Halloween edition, the Alani Witch's Brew. And they apparently didn't have any, even though it said they did on the website. Yeah, so he gave me that one instead. Not my preferred flavor. That's okay though. Gives me energy regardless. I wonder if this is doing some wax bloom at this point. Yeah, I think it is. Where is my... That is a white pencil. That is not a blender. Where is my blender? Where am I? I'll have to find... Oh, there they are. They're clear on the other side of my desk. What a great place for them to be. I usually don't use pencil blenders. I usually use Gamsol or Melts. But I think for this, I think I'm going to want to use the, you know, the physical blender. So I'm just trying to go over some of these lines with a little bit of a darker color. Like I said, I don't really know what my plans for this upcoming week are. I've got, I have a yearly eye specialist appointment that I have to go to. I'm not looking forward to that. It's like with a retina specialist. I have terrible vision. Like, I mean, just like without my glasses, I'm blind as a bat. I can't see, 3 inches in front of my face. I've wore glasses since I was 8 years old, and it's just kind of progressively gotten worse. I mean, it's never been great, but it's progressively gotten worse as I've gotten older. And because it's so bad, my eye doctor has requested that once a year I go to a retina specialist, which, if you have really bad vision, I do recommend that you probably get that done once a year, assuming your insurance will pay for it. They go in and they do tests that the regular eye doctor doesn't do, just to make sure that there's no tearing in the retina and stuff like that. But I don't like people poking at my eyeball. I mean, who does? Who is like, I mean, it's like the dentist. Like, you go because you have to get it done, but nobody's like, ooh, can't wait. Can't wait for somebody to poke at my eyeball. Like, they literally numb it up, and it's a thing. I'm going to stop talking about eyeballs. I know some people are really sensitive about that. But yeah, I lead a very exciting life. Can't you tell? When that's like the biggest thing going on in my life is that I have a eye specialist appointment coming up. Woohoo! Living on the edge over here. So I don't think I'm going to use the blender on this just yet. I think what I'm going to do, God, that's driving me nuts that I went a little bit outside that line. I'm not loving this. This is bothering me. Let's do the water on the globe real quick. I'm just going to do, I'm going to do this Genetian blue. That is 144 in this collection. Just to do something else on this page today. So I'm wondering, if you've stuck around this far, yay. I think this is supposed to be the water, and this is we're going to go with that. This is the water, this is the land. And I'm just going to do this like initial color, and then next week I'll go in and I'll try to put some shadows in and, make it not hopefully look so freaking flat. I'm going to try to do the same with her hair next week because, like I said, I'm not loving her hair. I'm wondering for the background for this, do you think I should do pencil, like a pencil background? I know it's going to take a while because it's going to be a lot of layering. Or do you think maybe I should switch it up a little bit and maybe do some Neo colors? I could do Neo colors. I don't know about doing gelatos, mainly because I'm not sure I have the exact colors I would want for that, but I know I have the Neo colors for it. So I could do Neo colors. I also have some acrylic inks. We could try that. I make no guarantee, guys, that at the end of the day, this page is going to be a keeper, but like I said, I've said it a gazillion times, it's just the process. It's messing around with stuff, see what works, see what doesn't work. Kind of testing these pencils that now nobody can get. Really thought that one through, didn't I? When I start on another one, when I finish this page, I think I'm going to do, is that the water? Okay, we're going to say this is the water right here. We're going to say this is the water right here. I think I'm going to do like a poll on my community tab because I have a number of sets of pencils. So, I'll give a couple different options for what we could, use next. I know that these videos don't perform super well, but I like doing them. They force me to color every week. They force me to work on a page and concentrate on it, kind of. And it's just a little time to chat, kind of. I know somebody took umbrage to the fact that I called this a color and chat because it wasn't a live chat. I would do a live chat, but I record this on my phone, and I would have to bring my laptop in here, set that up so I could see the thing. And I honestly think live streaming on my phone would probably burst into flames, which is ridiculous because I have the newest iPhone, and for some reason my iPhone acts like it is, 3 versions old. I don't know what that's all about, but man, that battery gets hot sometimes. So yeah, I'm not going to branch into doing live chats. I don't want to have to babysit. When I say babysit, I don't mean talk to people in chat. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about if some rando comes in and decides they're going to be rude or something. I don't want to have to deal with that while I'm working on other stuff. So I just do it this way. And like I said at the beginning of the video, feel free to drop me a line in the comments, tell me what you're working on. Tell me how your week's going. Tell me if you got anything interesting going on in your life. I will always try to respond. I also have, I put my Instagram, I have a couple of different Instagram accounts. I put 2 of them in the description box. One is my coloring account, and then the other one is my reading account. I post on my coloring account, but I post way more on my reading account. And, feel free to follow me on both if you want. You don't have to. There's no requirement. But, if you want to chat about books, that's, I love to yap about books. I love to yap about coloring. I love to yap sometimes. if the conditions are right, I love to yap. So I think I'm going to add these pencils that we're working with. Just not satisfied with her hair. I'll work on it a little bit more next week. I'm gonna, I always joke I have the too much gene. I just don't know when to stop. I'll add glitter to a page, and then I'll add some more glitter. And then I'm like, you know what? How about some acrylic paint? How about some gold ink? And I just, the too much gene just kicks in. Prime example, I'm doing kind of like a group buddy color on Instagram for the Knights of Tehran book by Ella Fernan. And this was our first page. And, I was relatively happy with it. And then I just kept adding glitter. What was I doing? Why did I add glitter to her freaking hair? I started painting stuff. Why was I painting stuff? The too much gene kicked in. But I was relatively satisfied with the way the background turned out. I used gelatos on that. That was fun. So it's just a process. My too much gene here at the end for this page will either save it or ruin it. Who's to say which? But yeah, so I'm gonna call it. Wow, guys. I know the video's not gonna be that long because I'm gonna cut some of this out, but I don't know what happened to 15 minutes. I don't know who that girl was that said she was going to do these videos as 15-minute videos. Certainly wasn't me, was it? Yeah, so I'm going to stop for here. I'm going to put these pencils in my little pencils I'm using thing. This thing has gotten quite full. I love this thing, though. This is great. I got this at Target. It's great for storing the pencils that you're currently using. And it has a lid. I was using little trays, and I'd end up knocking the tray, and a pencil would go flying. This has a lid, so they're not going to go flying. So anyway, that is that for today, guys. Thank you for sticking around. Those of you who watch these videos and like them, thank you. It means the world to me. It means a lot when anybody watches my videos. But these are like a little, pet project that I know is not everybody's favorite, but I like doing them. So thank you. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. It does help, the algorithm, all that stuff. There's also like a new thing where you can I don't know if it's just for people who have, I don't know if everybody has this button. There's like a hype button. You can like hype up small channels. I've done that for numerous people that I follow. You know, if you see that and you'd like to, that's cool. Again, you're under no obligation, but thank you. I think I've said that. I hope that everybody has a great day, a great weekend, and a great coming week. Thank you.